I let her pass out the sheet because I knew most of you were not familiar with, you knew the terms, but it just makes it easier to have. And so this is something I don't give the kids in the beginning because, like I said, I introduce 5 of these words at a time at the beginning of the year, so they have a working knowledge of the words, at least. So sequence. Which level is sequence? Is it level 1, 2, or 3? 2. Let's see. Okay, you'll have to move. I'm sorry. I guess I should have did that with you.
Oh, wait a minute. Click on it.
Okay.
Do I slide it? No.
It should slide. Just go to the next one. Okay. I'll write on it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it won't let me
Okay.
slide.
Okay. Okay. So let's see if it'll let me write. So we said, okay, it won't let me write. Okay. So level 2. Let's try this one.
It won't let you write. Yeah, because
The whiteboard is red, so something's
Something's
with it.
and I'm trying to get it. It won't let me slide.
Okay. We were trying to figure that out. Let's see. Make sure.
It probably
We're good.
needs an
Okay.
update.
We'll just go back. Let me get a pencil and I'll write it down. Okay, so we said sequence was 2. Okay, what about apply?
3. Yeah, 3.
Okay. Analyze.
2.
Is that 2? Okay. List. 1. Hypothesize. 3. Recite. Oh, I'm sorry. Describe. 1. Y'all looking at the sheet? Okay.
They're using their resources.
Recite.
1.
And then compare. 2. Okay. Now you may have to go back because I think the answer's on the first.
Okay. Okay.
So we said the first one was 2. Apply was 3. Analyze was 2. List was 1. Hypothesize 3. Describe 1. Recite 1. And compare 2. So you did a good job on that. So we'll move to the next one. So now we're going to try it. You can move to the next one. So these are some questions. Keep going.
Keep going.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So we're going to try it with the fairy tale. So I hope everybody's familiar with Jack and the Beanstalk. Okay. So we're going to go with Jack and the Beanstalk. So to the next, and then you can stop after that. Okay. All right. So if you could just turn over on the back of your sheet of paper. I didn't think I was going to have enough time. So if you turn over on the back of your sheet of paper, we're going to look at the questions for Jack and the Beanstalk. Now, I really have a cheat sheet for you, but I'm not going to give it out to the end because this is your test, okay? All right, so the first question is, how would you feel if you were the giant? So it's referring to Jack and the Beanstalk. So you can put 1 if you think it's level 1, 2 if you think it's level 2, and 3 if you think it's level 3. Begin. You may begin. And you don't have to wait on me. I'm in kid mode. I'll tell you don't always do the thumb. So, 2 is retell the story in your own words. 3 is what did Jack trade for the beans? What did Jack trade for the beans? 4 is what is the moral of the story? 5 is what did Jack find at the top of the stalk? 6 is how is Jack's personality like yours? 7 is how is the fairy tale similar to Cinderella? And 8, how would you solve a similar problem? So I'll give you a few minutes for that. While you're doing that, and we can't touch these. Leave it face down, please. And the kids pick it up and they turn it over anyway.
I'm done.
You're not supposed to turn it off. The ones I walk away with something.
I know.
We need some can-dos, that's what.
You can sit quietly.
Actually,
You can discuss it with your table, if there's someone at your table. Has everybody pretty much answered? I don't want to rush anybody. Okay, so let's go through and see, and I have the sheet, but I don't want to mess up the small. Okay, how would you feel if you were the giant?
Three.
If you think it's a 3, hold up 3 fingers. If you think it's a 2, 2. Okay. Why do you say it's a 3?
Yeah, because it's about you.
It's about you, exactly. And so it's asking you to put yourself in the giant's shoes. So that's why it's a level 3. You're not going to find that answer in the fairy tale Jack and the Beanstalk. Okay, retell the story in your own words.
1.
I think it's a 2.
We have a few people that won.
Sequence, oh, wait, if it's sequence, it's.
Exactly.
Okay.
So here's the point. So one thing, that sometimes there's not going to always be one answer because the verb can be used several different ways. So it's depending on how you use it. And that's the whole thing about the levels of thinking and question, is to get your kids thinking about why it is a certain level. Like somebody just brought up, okay, well, you're sequencing. Well, if you're retelling, you are sequencing, but you didn't use the word sequence. So you couldn't argue with them if that's what they said. You know, they've given you a valid answer, and it supports. So that's good. Okay.
See, I was thinking because for my second graders, they could retell, but that in their own words.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's, they have to think higher to put it in their own words. They just want to copy word for word from the book, so.
And then too, like I said, it's the different scenarios. Are you saying retell it and they don't have the information in front of them any longer? Or do they still have it in front of them too? So that changes the level, like you said. Okay, what did Jack trade for the beans?
That's 1.
1, right there. What is the moral of the story? 2.
That's neat to fall in 2 or 3. They're asking to analyze or evaluate.
Right.
Exactly.
Either one.
And I think at this level, I think it's level 2, and we're going to double check in a minute. Level 2, because I think that's what I said too. Because they have to be able to make some type of process and make some type of connection to the story and a lesson learned. Okay, number 5. What did Jack find at the top of the beanstalk?
1.
1. How is Jack's personality like yours?
2.
You were supposed to read my face.
I'm not about to tell your face.
No, I just happened to look that way when you responded. Okay. Well, what are you actually asking the student or the participant to do? You're asking them to compare. But if you can justify why you say it's a level 3, then it could be a level 3 because, like I said, sometimes there's no right or wrong. It's if you can justify why you say it is. So in this case, when I looked at it, I said 2. And I said because I'm comparing Jack's personality to my personality. But then I can see how it could be a level 3 too. Because, I mean, you're really having to analyze the personality and then make connections to it. So 5 and 6 are our iffy ones. Okay, number 7. How is the fairy tale similar to Cinderella? 2. And I think because we're talking about a personality here as opposed to 2 different stories, it makes it a little easier to say that we're comparing. Okay, and then how would you solve a similar problem? 3. Okay, so next one. So we're going to look at 4. So it says, what is the moral of the story? 2. And how is Jack's personality like yours? 2. So really it's the comparison. Now if you would say, how is Jack's personality like yours? And explain why, that takes it to 3. That takes it to 3 because you're justifying now. So if you're just saying, you know, give a statement, you can simply compare. But if you're saying explain why, that takes it to another level. Next. And so we're not going to do that because it's almost time for you all to go to your next session. But what I gave you was a Costas level of questioning flip book. And so what it does is it gives you the key words, which I provided you with definitions to, but it also gives you question starters as to how a question might start in level 1. So make a map, illustrate what events led to, Point to, what is the definition? Draw a diagram. These are pretty much straightforward. You're gathering information. And that's that one, it's right there. Cut, copy, paste. Is a good way to remember it. Level 2, you're processing book and brain, or whatever source in brain. It has the question starters there. And applying level 3, and it has the question starters there. Can you take a picture from the background?
Sure, take it.
So are there any questions? Comments? Was this helpful?
Yes, very.
Is this something that you can see yourself using at home? And Ms. Kendall gave a great example.
Yes.
So even the stories at the end of the book, certain selections.
Parents, this concludes our first session of Parent University. At this time, begin transitioning towards your next session, which will begin in 3 minutes.
And even when they get study guides, even though we're moving away from study guides, when they get those study guide questions, well, what level is this question and why is it this level? You can do the name that level with your kids. And I use the questions that my students come up with from different things in our units of study to actually help create tests sometimes, so that they get excited to see their questions on the test. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Martin.
Thanks.
How are you?
You say another trouble?
Look, I tried to rest my voice all day.
I enjoyed that.
Is this awful we talking on? Hey.